made. So it cost $60,000 to make.
You're talking about Blair Witch Project.
$60,000 to create the Blair Witch Project. Paranormal Activity was $15,000. So now let's look up the Blair Witch Project box office. $248 million. So, yeah, talk about a profitable movie. It's arguably the most profitable movie of all time. Because movies like Titanic and Avengers, those cost $200, $300 million. This cost $60,000. And that's just the $250 million is what it made at the box office. This was one of those movies that I didn't see in theaters. I rented it at Blockbuster. So this is not taking into account all the people that purchased the movie through home media. So this film, a huge success, and like I said, very polarizing. People are either terrified of it or they don't get it. But I get it. I love it. So maybe you want to have some fun. Maybe you don't want to be truly scared. So I'm going to recommend 3 really fun horror movies to watch. The first one is Evil Dead 2, directed by Sam Raimi, starring Bruce Campbell. I think the first Evil Dead's fine. It's not one of my favorites. But the next 2 is when the franchise becomes what it's synonymous with. And that is the fun horror action comedy that we got with Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness. I've lumped those 2 together, watch them back to back, do a little double feature.
I've never even
But Evil Dead 2 is just, you get the one-liners, you get the slapstick Three Stooges sort of stuff, you get the fun animatronics and stop motion and puppetry. It's just what I love about 80s horror is everything that is Evil Dead 2. In fact, actually, all 3 of the fun movies I have are all from the 1980s. The other one is Friday the 13th, Part 6.
Part 6?
I like the Jason movies. A lot of them are really bad, though. Jason Goes to Hell.
Movies.
I'll watch it. Jason X, I know is a bad movie. I'll watch it. Freddy vs. Jason, I'll always watch. But I think the best of these movies is Part 6. It's...
again, around Halloween, on hallowed ground, they made all these movies. For Linda, she grew up in Elmont. Alexander at the moment's on an Elm, and there's a Jason involved. There's this fabric of reality in this New York Big Apple that is really hard to get away from, and it's very pivotal and centrifuge to what went on early in my life into my teens, and then the break that happened in I'm not a basket case, but there is Basque-esque things going on along with other country club children. Not quite sure which one fits in where in the Ruzel. The man said right before this is Nassau Community College. I don't know the announcer's name. It's 90.3, and it's 1:14 p.m. New York's Eastern Standard Time. So he was talking about the Blair Witch Project. He was talking about they invented this history for the Blair Witch Project, which gave it teeth. They all thought it was a real legend, again, in whatever it was. So it grew the movie into legendary status by putting all this backstory into it. And so that's what he was discussing before I was able to hit and set up my camera for record for a whatever on my end of things, of how are the children doing an impact study. I don't know how the rest of Dances with Wolves in a movie theater with one visitor who had me in a separate, in a seating selection, was it was he that separated the rest of the children that I went into a room with every day from myself, and whatever that means in real world terms. He also, I believe, would visit the school. I think that's the same person that I have the photo with at the fashion show, but whatever, on the local fashion show. I think it was only family. It was at the Millridge Inn. It was close network family invited, and then the school attendees that wanted to participate, for whatever that meant. And so they're talking about this Blair Witch Project. It's Halloween. There's Jason horror movies, and I don't even know how many parts to them there are. Then there's the Dear Evan Hansen and the Connor Project. I mean, that's a Roseanne Barr. Like, Connor was their last name at Dan and Roseanne at the Roseanne Barr show of, oh my God, what are you drafting me? Like, how are you drafting this on the screen of, like, where have I been in... I mean, I've been through a lot of different levels of humanity. Never really settled where I was comfortable, but here we are. At 44 years into this, the kids aren't doing well. And mom's doing absolutely horribly. In case there's like one eagle that's bald eagle that still cares. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken. And it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.